In this episode, Dr. Zupenda Davis shares what it looks like to choose yourself in your work, your relationships, and your health. From setting boundaries that protect her peace to speaking openly about women's health and menopause, Dr. Davis brings a vision of public health that centers the whole person. This is a conversation about courage, freedom, and what becomes possible when women stop shrinking and start naming what they need. You're listening to the Courageous Public Health Podcast, episode 42. To all the courageous women leading in public health, this podcast is your space to turn up the volume on your courage. This space centers your voice. This space celebrates your passion. This space amplifies your courage. My role? To listen, to amplify, and to stand with you in the fight for equity. My name is Dr. Christy McClamrock. I am an epidemiologist, consultant, the founder and CEO of Courageous Public Health, and the host of the Courageous Public Health Podcast. Each week, I have real, unfiltered conversations with women in public health about the challenges you face, the power you hold, and your vision for the future. We talk about the authenticity, vulnerability, and courage that you bring, not just to public health, but to every part of your lives. Because courage is about action, even in fear. It's about taking up space, leading unapologetically, refusing to be erased, and knowing you never have to do it alone. If you're ready to turn up the volume on your courage, if you're ready to take up space, if you're ready to smash the racist, patriarchal, cisnormative, heteronormative, ableist, capitalistic systems, then listen to this new episode. Hello, and welcome to the Courageous Public Health Podcast. I'm Dr. Christy McClamrock, founder and CEO of Courageous Public Health. I created Courageous Public Health because women in this field are already doing extraordinarily courageous things inside systems that rarely support or name that labor. My work focuses on helping public health and health-related organizations strengthen courageous leadership among women on their teams through workshops, facilitation, and strategic conversations that move people from fear-based decision-making to grounded, values-driven action. I'm excited for you to hear today's conversation. I'm going to read Dr. Zupenda Davis's bio, and then we will get started with the interview. Dr. Zupenda Davis is an assistant vice president of student health and wellness at Stockton University, where she has strategic and operational oversight of 4 areas: student health services, health outreach, promotion and education, counseling and psychological services, and the Learning Access Program. With over 25 years of experience in public health, she has worked across nonprofit, academic, research, and local government settings. Dr. Davis holds a DrPH from Drexel University, an MPH from UMDNJ School of Public Health, and a BS in Public Health from Rutgers University. She is a Master's Certified Health Education Specialist. Dr. Davis is a board member of Avanzar and an advisory board member of Our View. She is also a proud member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, Kappa Pi Sigma, the Atlantic County Alumni Chapter. All right, are you ready to be inspired by courage? Let's go. Dr. Natasha Knight gave me your name, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. A little shout out to Natasha.
Yes. Thank you, Natasha. Natasha is great, and it's actually public health that where we met. We met at an American Public Health Association conference. So
I love that.
We've gone from colleagues to really great friends. So thanks,
Fantastic.
Natasha, for
Yes.
me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, and I think you said before that you met at the APHA in San Francisco.
Yes, correct.
Which is where I'm near San Francisco. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yes,
very cool. How many years ago was that?
Was that 2012?
Yeah. Okay. So I
think it was 2012.
It was a long time back. That's awesome.
Yes.
How exciting. Okay. Well, I want to start by giving you a chance to introduce yourself to our listeners.
Sure. So I'd like to say that I'm a visionary at heart. I'm the kind of person who loves seeing an ideal spark and then turning it into something great, an experience, a program, a movement. I thrive on taking vision and bringing it to life. And as you can imagine, my world is rooted in mental health, physical health, and health equity, and making sure people have what they need to be well. And sometimes that's access to resources. Sometimes it's encouragement or guidance. And sometimes it's just being present with someone when life is heavy. And I truly believe in whole person health. And I'm passionate about creating spaces where we can talk openly about the hard stuff, the things that many of us feel but don't always say out loud. I'm an advocate for the unseen, and I work to amplify voices for people who may not feel they have one. And I get to do that through my profession in public health and through my service with Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, which truly fuels my commitment to community and impact. And I'll be honest, I'm also leaning into my soft life era. I love working hard. I love working smart, but I'm choosing ease, rest, joy, and peace wherever I can find it. And for me, that looks like family, community, great food, long walks, music that lifts me up, a good nap, and laughing with friends until it hurts.
What a fantastic introduction.
Thank you. So that's a little bit about me. I'm so looking forward to this conversation.
Oh my gosh, me too. Okay, so I have to ask you, on your email signature, does it say Dr. Zupenda Davis visionary? Because I really think if it doesn't, you need to add that.
It does not. I like that. I think you're right in that. I need to add that.
I think I have like public health entrepreneur or public health disruptor. I have something in there. It's like, just a little extra, little added description of me. So I just love that you said that you're a visionary at heart.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So with that introduction, I'm sure that all of our listeners know that you're going to have some great examples of courage in your life. So I would love to start there, just to hear about, times when you have been courageous in your professional life and also in your personal life.
Sure. I feel like nowadays you have to be courageous because there are so many things that may cause you to hide, run, be fearful of the unknown. And so to really be successful, to really help people, you got to just be courageous and stand up. I feel like doing that helps other people to do the same. So professionally, and this is outside of public health, but still professional, I'm naturally a planner, and anybody that knows me will say yes. And so in 2017, I decided to use my intuition and gift and turn it into a business. And one thing about businesses, and I'm sure you know this as an entrepreneur, you often hear that businesses stem from solving a problem. Mm-hmm. And I often find myself when I'm at an event figuring out how that event could have been more impactful for its guests, more enjoyable for the host, and more seamless in its execution. And so for me, I would naturally curate gatherings and help friends and families with the behind the scenes portion of event planning. It just kind of came to me naturally, and I enjoyed doing it. A friend once jokingly said to me, you should be charging for that. And I thought about the hours involved and realized, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure where to start until I saw a post from a Facebook friend about a planning course at Temple University. And so I went from enrolling in that course and was a student, and went from student to intern to business owner. And I owned my business, Shining Moments Event Planning, for 8 years.
Wow. Amazing.
I actually just closed my doors, and I'm realizing I still need to write that post that says, hey, my doors are closed. Here's why.
Yes. So this is something that you were doing alongside your other work, your work. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And that was part of the reasons why I was like, I think it's time to sunset it. I enjoyed it during the time, but as my roles in my full-time positions started to get more demanding and more, I guess, higher up in leadership, it was like, I don't think I really have the time to do this now.
Yeah.
It was beginning to become a lot. And so
Sure.
it was kind of like, okay. And then, when you find yourself extending yourself too much and then you're tired, that begins to show up in your work. So I didn't want the business to have me not showing up as my best in my work career. And I also did not want to not show up as my best as a planner, because the planner has to be there with the pom-poms and encouraging the people.
Yes.
And you're tired, that's not going to work.
And I'm sure you also didn't want that to take away the time to rest and the time to have the ease and the naps and the like taking care of yourself, right? Like it also,
Absolutely.
that also gets to be really important. That gets to be a priority too.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's physically taxing. You're on your feet for at least 10 hours.
Yes.
Your mind is always on. Women, we already have all the tabs open. So now I have these planning tabs. Yeah. The couples are probably not as stressed out, but now I'm taking on all the stress.
Right.
And planning, whether it's a wedding or just planning a special event in someone's life. So those tabs, and it's like, did I do this? What's coming up next? And always being 5 steps ahead. And that can be a lot. And so it wasn't allowing me to rest. It wasn't allowing me to have a weekend when there's nothing on the calendar.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I think I'm going to have to scale back a little bit to take care of myself.
Now, of course, the trick is that it can't be that you still do the same stuff and don't get paid. you have to like do less.
Correct. Absolutely. And that's the part that's very key, because I naturally will be like, you know what you can do to make that better? You can do A, B, and C. So you're right. I have to stop myself from becoming that planner that's giving free advice or,
you
doing
just go to
things.
The event and enjoy the event. Like,
right. And there are times where I literally will find myself sitting on my hands where they're like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I'm not. Somebody's doing something. I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I am not helping with the tablecloth. Yep. I am not helping with the legit, like, I'm just going to sit here and be a guest and turn that lens off so I can enjoy.
I love it. I love it. I think that's a great example of courage. And there are like lots of examples of courage in that one story, honestly, because, it's like starting it and then also ending it. Like both of those things take courage.
Right. So. And it's one of those things, as you know, with being a business owner, for me, it's like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
So I got my business registered with the state. I have an EIN. I got a logo, a website, all of those things. Like I wanted to be taken seriously, and I wanted people to know, like, this is indeed a business. Yeah. And it's always betting on yourself and putting yourself out there, constantly marketing yourself, demonstrating to people, prospective clients, why you are the best person, why they should hire you, how you can help them, and dealing with rejection, with going all out and being like, no, we went in another direction, or no, I'm not going to hire you, or going on social media and seeing someone else that does what you do. And you're like, that's amazing. I don't know if I can do that, comparing yourself to other people. So it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, saying what you do and betting on yourself that you're the best person for the job.
Okay. So this is really funny. While you're talking about this, I'm thinking that this also applies so much to, I know we talked before we hit record about the work you did during COVID. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like the same kind of thing.
It absolutely is. Talk about times of uncertainty and putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was the director of health education for the Burlington County Health Department in New Jersey. And, responsible for overseeing some staff who do 80 plus programs in the community on various public health topics. It went from that to that's just COVID. And so while folks were home for 2 weeks, and I'm doing the quotes.
Yes, for people without the video.
There was no two. It was more like, okay, not if this comes, when this comes, this is what we're prepared to do. And I did not work from home until summer of 2020. Like for my area, there were maybe about 8 weeks where it was like 1 day working from home, but it was continuing what we do, but focusing on COVID. And it didn't help with the leadership at that time in terms of, giving out the information. It caused a lot of confusion, misinformation, disinformation, hoax. And, in a time where there's a lot of uncertainty, what we as a country, what the world needed to hear actually is that here are the facts. Here's what we're doing to mitigate these things. Here's what you can do. This is what we know right now. And so when you have the most respected position telling you things that are opposite of the World Health Organization and the CDC, it's kind of like, what's going on? And so it really caused a lot of issues and concerns, and it really made our work difficult. You already have individuals who may not get immunized for whatever reason. That's up to them. But it's like an uphill battle where you're just like, no, here's what we know about the vaccines. Here's what we have. Here are the ingredients. This is why it's safe, and all the different things. So going and having, whether doing post or doing different not podcasts, but different like Zoom programs and those types of things, educating the public. I enjoyed it, but it was rough at times because you're waiting for these questions. Like, what are they going to ask me?
I mean, I think everyone in public health really leaned into their courage during COVID. Like, there's just no question.
Right. And at that time, and as you can imagine, because of history, members of the Black community already have, some members, I won't say all, have issues, trusting the government, trusting public health because of different things that have happened in history not that long ago. And so it's being able to acknowledge that, but also still talk about what you know and give them the facts. I felt that I was able to make some impact. I don't have the data behind it, but at least to put it out there, like, I believe in that. I got my first COVID shot Christmas Eve 2020. And so I had post pictures on social media and people were like inboxing me like, oh my God, how are you feeling? Are you okay? And even with the post, like even with the second shot, I had videos like, hey, everything's great. Then the next day it was like, oh my God, I feel like I got hit by a truck. But being transparent to let them know, like, this means that your body is working. The antibodies are working and all those different things that your body's doing what it's supposed to do. And so for me, it was kind of like putting myself out there. I'm like, I hope that it encourages people to get vaccinated. It's one of those things where it was like, okay, it was a lot though, because it went from the testing to then the vaccination. And so like a slow rollout, but really getting people to buy in. One of the great things that we did was we partnered with churches. We partnered with different community-based organizations, especially those that really had influence in communities of color. Because at the end of the day, even though I'm an African-American woman, I'm still representing local government. And so it's kind of like, when working with any community, you have to look at who are the key informants? Who are the people that the communities look up to? So it's not just the message, it's the messenger. And for me to realize that, and for the health department to realize that too. So it's like, okay, we have to use a multi-tiered approach in terms of how to have an uptick in people getting the vaccine. Yeah.
Love it. So I think you also had some examples of courage from your personal life, if you want to share some of those.
Sure. Well. Yes. So, life has been a journey. We all have them. I would say this was maybe, what year is this? This was maybe almost 15 years ago. I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. And it's one of those things where I didn't necessarily fear for my life, but it was one of those things where I wasn't sure what would happen. And what was so interesting about it was that, oftentimes when you hear about domestic violence, you see these physical scars. Unfortunately, victims of domestic violence, sometimes they don't make it. Sometimes the partner kills them, so you have those outcomes, but you don't hear too much about the emotional abuse and other things that are non-physical. And so it made it a little challenging in terms of what is exactly going on, and not recognizing it at first. One thing about abusers, you often hear that they're very charming. They show you their best selves and things really look like love. And then eventually it may be somebody, in this case, my best friend, shout out to Cicely, who was just like, this isn't right. Something just isn't right. And it took for her to point out different things. And I think when I started to realize it, okay, he really is controlling. And it's one of those interesting things too, where I was never yelled at. I was never called out my name. So it was hard for me to figure out what was going on. But it did have, the whole isolation and some demeaning comments. For example, during that time, I had already had my master's degree, and I was thinking about, it was way longer than that. Anyway, I'm getting the timing mixed up. However, I hadn't even thought about starting a doctoral program at that time. And so, wow, time flies. This is probably 20 years ago. And so, so then, me mentioning, I'm thinking about going back for my doctorate and being told how stupid that was and why would I do it, and getting all these questions. And so, and then being accused of things that I was not doing at all, and spending most of my time trying to prove I'm not doing this. And then just the different things which is, I guess now gaslighting now. At that time, I'm a Christian, always have been. I was baptized as a baby as a Catholic, raised as a Catholic all these years. And then at some point in my 20s, I realized I think there's another way that I want to connect with God, and started to go to a church that was a Baptist church. So the learning of different things is different. So it's kind of like a renewed knowledge of Christianity. He would often use that and maybe pull out some things in the Bible as a weapon, with accusing me of things and being like, well, are you a virtuous woman? So things like that. So to this day, I'm over it now, but there was a point where my friends and we would be in church and they would be like, Proverbs, virtuous woman. And I would be like, oh, insert eye roll, please. Because everybody knew what I had gone through. It was like, oh my God, can we please skip that? Can we please skip that scripture? Like the PTSD. So those things. And so for me, I was like, how many other women have gone through this where they don't know what this is called, and what do you do with that? And having, once you're isolated, then you feel silly. Am I gonna tell my family this is going on, or that I'm leaving? Who can I run to? And as I said, my best friend called my cousin and was like, I don't like what's going on. Please talk to her. And my best friend came over one day and she said to me, trying not to get choked up, I can't do this anymore. So it was like, oh, wow. Oh, this is hurting you? So it took, even though it was hurting me, it took for me knowing that it was hurting her, seeing me go through this, to be like, all right, I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Wow. That's really powerful. I have chills for sure. So that's, there's that also. I mean, there's so much courage in that, and getting out of relationship that's hurting you in whatever way.
Right. Right. And it doesn't have to be this physical thing. They say sticks and stones may break your bones, or words that never hurt you. Words are so powerful. They can uplift, they can break down. And so for me, it was like, well, what can I do to help other people not experience this? And I became, I joined the domestic violence response team.
Beautiful.
Became an advocate. So I went through the training and, I would be on call and I would meet victims of DV at the police station to educate them about power and control, give them resources, help them through the process of getting a restraining order. There have been times where I've accompanied a victim to court for the proceedings or to the hospital. Then I even became a dispatcher where I was the person calling the folks that were on call to be like, hey, we just got a call. Can you go out?
Wow.
Which means you end up being the person that's on call because, if you're on call, you shouldn't be drinking, all these things that you should be available. And so it's you signed up and then I call, hey, I'm at Fridays. I'm like, well, you can't go to the police station. You just had your 5th margarita. So then now I'm at the police station. And so it was great for me to pour into these women to let them know that it's okay and that it's not their fault. To sit there with someone and say, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Like, I love him. I'm like, that's your husband. Of course you love him. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, of course he did not meet you and abuse you. And then you started dating this person. Like, this was the person that is your love and maybe be the father of your children and those kind of things. And I'm like, it is okay. And some women didn't want to do the restraining order. They were like, well, he needs to work. I don't want him in jail. And it's one of those things where you have to take off your own.
Oh yeah. Deep breath.
And you're just like, okay, let's just talk about this and just continue to give them the facts and not put your own emotions to it.
Yeah.
But it was challenging because I was working full time and it began to be more and more demanding. Also at this time, I was in my doctoral program. So talk about rest. And as you can imagine, these calls at the police station, they're not really having at 7 p.m. Once in a while. It's 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah.
It's football season. It's fill in the blank. And so I'm like literally getting out of my bed, going to the police station, going to the hospital, maybe coming back, taking a shower and going to work at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not sustainable. I'm not getting rest. And I couldn't sleep because then there were times like that was all you got. You don't know what happened to that person.
Yeah.
You're not in touch with them. Like, hey, did you do the restraining order? How's things going? You don't know what happened a lot of times. And so it was just not being able to sleep. You don't know the
next chapter of the story.
That's right. Hard. And so I was just like, this is too much now. And so I knew when to stop. That's been kind of like my theme. Like, gotta know when to hold them.
Yes.
Know when to fold them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. I know it takes vulnerability to talk about that and to share that. And I really appreciate you for it.
Thank you.
That's courage.
Yeah.
That's courage. Yeah. And taking that courage and then creating something to help other people who also get to figure out ways to tap into their courage. Like that's really, I think that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any other examples of courage that you want to share before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, so this has probably been something for my entire life. The decision to not have children.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So, I think as women, we often get painted. You have your story. You're supposed to be straight. You're supposed to marry a man. You're supposed to have kids, like this whole narrative. And that may not be the case for most of us. And so it was one of those things that I knew early on that I did not want to have children, birth children. When I was younger, if I would meet a man and he had kids, I'm like, nope, absolutely not. I'm good. Yeah. As I got older, the percentage of men who did not have kids was, just kept declining.
Okay.
And so it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, what do I do with that? Is it that I don't want any children in my life at all? Or is it that I don't want to birth children? And then I realized, you know what? I think I'm okay with being a stepmom of a child that's older.
Yeah. Yes. Age matters here.
What did you say?
Age of the child matters here.
Yes, absolutely. Like, hi, how are you? I have a 6-month-old. I'm good. And so for me, even though as I got older, it was still a thing. Like my friends knew, but it was like feeling not too comfortable saying it out loud because I felt weird. Like, why do I feel this way? Why am I not wired like some women I know where they're like, oh, I know I want children. Like I was raised by my grandmother and she was like, I got married to have kids. I'm like, really? I'm like, I want to be married, but do I have to have kids? Like, does that have to be part of the equation? And so for me, it was being able to come to terms with it and realizing, you know what? I do not. That is not what I want. And with that, you get a lot of questions. Why not? Are you sure? You got to have just one, but you would be so good. You're so nurturing. And I'm just like, that doesn't mean I make a good parent or make a good mom. Like, thank you for the compliment. But no, I think I know. Yeah. And then people giving suggestions. And then, your church people, I'm going to pray to God about it. I'm like, let's not pray to God about it.
You're like, you know what? Actually, we're good.
No, God knows the desires of my heart. That is not on the list at all, anywhere. Birthing kids is not on the list. Yeah. So I'm like, please do not pray that.
Yeah.
And people were just like, oh, you'll know, you'll change your mind. I'm like, I probably won't change my mind. I think I know. And then I got married. So then it's like, oh my God, when are you? I'm like, we're not having kids. And so it was one of those things where realizing, you know what? Deciding to be child free doesn't make me any less than a woman. I'm no longer married. I'm still no less of a woman. I'm a woman who has made decisions, who has choices in the matter, and who is like, I speak firmly on this. There is nothing wrong with me for wanting to be child free. The other thing with that is also, I guess, the space in terms of like work environments where, let's say something comes up. Oh, who could stay late? This person has to pick up kids. This person can't because, I don't know, so-and-so has sports or a sleepover. And it's like, well, what about you? And I'm like, well, my plant needs water. But it's like, just because I don't have children doesn't mean that I don't have commitments, whatever that commitment is.
Yes.
Like, that doesn't mean that I don't have something else to do and that I have all this availability. Now, I may have more availability or my availability looks different, but it doesn't mean I'm coming home twiddling my thumbs all the time either.
And that's yours to say. It's yours to say if you have more availability. It's not somebody else's to say just because you don't have children. Yeah.
Right. And so that defining moment of realizing and having that courage to loudly declare, I'm a woman regardless of parental or marital status.
Absolutely.
And it's like when you know, and don't let anyone tell you or shame you into thinking differently because it doesn't fit in the box that they have created for you.
I mean,
yes. And it's, my significant other now has 2 teen daughters. I absolutely love them. Like I couldn't see life without him and them. And
that's beautiful.
It's one of those things where, yes, the mother, maternal, nurturing person is there, but it looks different than what other people typically want or go through, and realizing, and that's okay.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I was just going to say, you're talking about authenticity. I mean, this is you being authentic. This is you being true to you.
Right.
And
And you have to be, because I remember having conversations with my grandma. I'm like, well, if I get married and he wants kids, should I? And she's like, knowing what I know about you, don't do it.
yeah,
Like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel,
yeah,
you
yep,
know? And so for me, even having these conversations with other women or putting posts on Facebook, and I would get inboxes like, thank you so much for saying that, because I go through the same thing. And
yeah,
it's just a lot where you're always in defensive mode, and you like walk around with a shirt like, here are 10 reasons why.
oh my gosh,
Don't
right,
ask me. Don't pray for that.
right,
Like, can you just leave me alone? Like, this is
yeah,
the direction that me and my then spouse are going in, and this is my direction as a single woman that I'm going in. And
yeah,
like, you have kids. You have all the kids you want.
exactly,
Knock yourself out.
exactly,
And I don't have a problem with that at
yeah,
all. I will support you. I will be there. I
yeah,
won't babysit, but I will.
yeah,
It's like, so my mom's children, my sister, me, and my two sisters.
yeah,
The oldest has 2 grown children. And
okay,
then there's a middle sister. So both she and I do not have kids. And people are just like, well, don't you have a niece and nephew? And I say, yes, they have 2 aunts. They have the itsy bitsy spider changing diapers aunt, and then they have the mani petty condoms aunt. That's me. So
ah,
the
oh my gosh,
application aunt. That's me. So we got the whole lifespan covered. But yeah, I have never changed a diaper in my life, ever. And people go, oh my God, really? I said, well, as far as I've heard,
well,
I don't think it's that exhilarating of an
yeah,
experience.
I know,
I think I can die without
really
that. That's
missing
not
out.
on, yeah, not on my bingo card. I
Right.
think I'm okay that
Yeah.
I don't have that experience. You don't have to experience everything. That's one of them. I don't care to experience. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So often my sort of follow-up question to these examples of courage,
Mhm.
it's about authenticity and claiming and expressing your power, which is exactly what you're talking about. And I love, again, going back to you saying you're visionary, right? Like, you are clear about your vision for your life, and you are expressing that, and you are holding firm in that, even when that threatens other people. That's their problem, right?
Absolutely.
That's
And I
their
think
problem. That's
once you
not your
realize
problem.
that, it's so freeing.
Yes. Oh my
It's
gosh.
so freeing. We were
Yes.
all created uniquely different
Yeah.
and all the things. And it's kind of like people are going to like and enjoy different things and want different things. And if I'm not true to myself,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be happy.
No. Right.
Like, I'm not going to live my life for other people,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely. Mm.
So,
Okay, so I want to hear more about then your vision. So, what are you thinking in terms of, what is your vision for public health, and what is your personal vision? Like, what comes next for you?
wow, the vision for public health.
Yeah,
2
that's a
months
big
ago,
question.
probably would have been a different answer. Now, I want the public health degree to once again be regarded and respected as a professional, reliable, life-saving degree that it is, always was, and always will be. One of the things we talked about before was just in terms of public health, and I'm sure other fields as well, but being under attack.
Yeah.
Whether it's giving out the false information, just not respecting what it is that we do. We were once the nation's go-to for disease prevention and health promotion and wellness guidance, and it's just been among the most scrutinized fields. So my vision is that we work with other disciplines to work smarter, not harder, to get public health back on a map. I believe we're still on the map, but but this whole defining of professional degrees, and it's like excluding public health degrees that I have. I have a DrPH and MPH.
Yeah.
And so it's not saying that it won't impact me, but it's definitely threatening, students who want to go in those fields, who want to get those public health degrees, limiting access to federal financial aid, and then the higher loan limits for public health students. I loaned my way through my doctoral program, and thank God they got forgiven the beginning of this year or last year, because I don't know what I would be doing right now. But it's just, it's creating these financial barriers for students from diverse and historically excluded communities.
Yeah.
It's weakening the public health workforce pipeline.
Yeah.
It's undermining the nation's ability to prepare professionals who protect and promote community health. And so while we have individuals who are interested in working in the field and seeing that, it's like, oh, well, I need to do something different. And so for me, it's like protecting what's there, advocating. I just made a post on LinkedIn that the Association of Schools and Programs in Public Health posted about, the importance of public health, and a link to for individuals to contact their congressional leaders in that area. That's one thing I still have yet to do. There was some email, I believe the APHA sent out, where it was like, sign a letter, but I do want to take a step further. And, do you want to take one step further and write a letter? Yeah. The other thing in terms of the vision of public health is really wanting to see women's health prioritized, especially women of color, between maternal health, reproductive health, and a focus on menopause.
Yes.
My vision aligns with the existing menopause bills that are there. It's important that the different states, all of us, require insurance coverage for menopause treatments and mandate menopause-specific training for clinicians.
Yes.
Many clinicians, I've heard them in their podcasts or on their posts and in their books talk about the education they received, and the chapter, finger quotes again, on women's health is a page. It's a paragraph.
Yeah.
And it includes puberty and birth and babies. That's it. It doesn't anything else. And it's kind of like, there are so many things that are not covered. So making sure that they are aware of what menopause is, because what's happening is women are having one of the 51 plus symptoms of menopause and are not sure what it is, and going to physicians, and it's like, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. There's not these additional questions about, okay, let me look at this person's age. Let me get more information. A lot of the symptoms are psychological. And so for when someone comes in, having it be on a radar, so you're not like, oh, we're going to write a script for this anxiety symptoms, or we're going to diagnose you as this. And not to say that those things aren't possible, but let's look at the whole, looking at people holistically and looking at, okay, they're of childbearing age, because you can't even put an age on it. You can't even say, oh, they're over 50. I mean, you have women that are as young as 35 that are having these symptoms and are not quite sure what they are and what to do with them. And so by the training being there, they'll be better informed and can be better clinicians. Also advocating for women, like when you go and you're talking about these things and you're dismissed, it's chalked out as, oh, it's not that important, or that's just what it is, without the education about, as you get older, that your estrogen decreases and all the things that estrogen does and why we're experiencing these symptoms. Like, that has to be part of it. And if you're not getting that, you need to get a second opinion. Yeah. And I think by getting the information out there is really key. I have a gynecologist, I have a urogynecologist, because it's like you have all these things that are connected, and one knows some, but it's like, we're going to refer you to someone else. And so, but if you don't know that, if you're not exposed to that, how do you know? And especially if you have a clinician who doesn't know, that basically is like, oh, well, it comes with the territory. Oh, it's aging, but they're not educating you on why this is happening. And so it doesn't allow for women to take control, learn what they need to do to I guess, combat the symptoms and live a better life, because it can really be debilitating. And so, one of the things that I've been doing, working with a couple of colleagues, actually, two other professionals that are my sorors, we have been working to provide education to women that are having these dynamic conversations, engaging conversations about it. At a sorority conference in October, myself and one of my sorors, Dr. Aubria Nance Bowman, we had a workshop on menopause, and it was greatly attended. And it was such a pleasure to see some younger sorors in the audience, because often you may hear your parents may have said something about it, or you just hear, "Oh, I'm hot." And it's like, well, that's one of them. There are some women that are perimenopausal. They don't get hot flashes at all. Right. And so by having them in the room, because it's like, yeah, you guys need to hear what's going on. Yeah. Because we didn't learn those things. Yeah. We may have been like, oh, I just know that they have hot flashes. Right. And that's it. You don't hear about these other things that can sometimes make you feel like I'm mentally losing it. I'm walking in the room and don't know why I walked in the room. Yeah. I thought I did this, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. I lately have been having an issue of displacing food. So real quickly, it hasn't happened in quite some time, knock on wood, but I made toast one morning and I got a saucer and I put the toast on the saucer. I went to go make something else. I can't find the toast. So now I'm like, did I make the toast or did I think I made the toast? I'm looking everywhere. So what do? I make more toast. Oh, yeah. I open up the cabinet to get the saucer to put the new toast on there. Yes, you already know where this is going.
I already know where you're going.
The toast is on the saucer in the cabinet. Why?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I did it again with something else. I put cut up fruit in a Pyrex dish, and it didn't go in the fridge. It went in the cabinet with the Pyrex. And I was like, why do I keep... What is wrong with me? Yeah. And I'm like, it's Perry's fault. Yeah. It's her fault. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's
and even though it's disheartening, but it's like, at least I could put a name to it. Yeah. At least I have a sense of, okay.
Not losing your mind.
I have an idea why this is happening.
And I'm glad that you found your toast.
I found my toast. I found the fruit.
Found the fruit. It's all good.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay with that. But it's helpful to talk about it out loud. It was such a taboo subject, as many women health issues are.
Yeah, of course.
And I make posts about it or holding space about it. Like, let's talk about it. One of the things I've been doing with friends of mine, like, we can all connect on, where'd you get those shoes and the dress, and where'd you get your hair done? I'm the person that's like, hey, did you get your mammogram? You said you were going to get it.
Yes.
Did you get it yet? Yes. No, hold me accountable. I was like, don't tell me that, because I will get on your nerves until you go. I will drive you there to get your mammogram. Yes. But it's like, if we can have these conversations about relationship problems, let's also talk about finances. Let's talk about professionalism and leadership. Let's talk about women's health.
Let's talk about all the things.
All the things. And everybody knows me. That's my hashtag. All the things.
All the things. All the things that we're told that we're not supposed to talk about. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it and talk about it out loud. And there's so many platforms on social media now where there's other people talking about it too. And even though we kind of joke and laugh about it, because it's one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. Yeah. But there's comfort in that you're not alone. And a lot of times we women experience different things and we don't talk about it because it's like, I can't tell anybody that I have itchy ears and itchy skin and all this other things. And then you mention it, somebody's like, oh my God, you too?
Yeah.
You don't realize it until somebody else mentions it. Like, no, you're not alone.
Yes.
And so it's important that people know, okay, this is what's going on. And there's a place where I can get help. And here's a space where we can talk about it. So it's very important that information is out there.
Agreed. Agreed. And we keep talking about all the things.
All the things. And not only that, but the partners of the women that are going through this, not just the male partners, the female partners too. Like, they need to be able to talk about it and have some type of understanding.
Yeah. We need
And
to shift the culture around menopause.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You do. And have that provider who gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else for your own future? I mean,
oh, yes. So one of the things that you heard me say is that I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And so for me, really tapping in more with my spirituality and prayer life and deeper conversations with God.
Okay.
It's one of those things where you're like, yes, I'm a Christian and yes, I talk to God. But it's like, are you doing that on a regular basis? Or are you just like, Lord, I need you. I need help. I can't find my keys. I can't find my toast.
I can't find my toast.
Yeah. So that's important to me. Continuing to serve through my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho, and also serving on the boards that are near and dear to my heart and my values. I want to continue utilizing my own experiences and knowledge in public health and mental health to age gracefully. I know it can sound cliche, but it really is. The things that you're doing now really matter. I'm currently engaged in strength training and walking to keep my muscles and bones strong. I'm cooking more healthy and nutrient-dense foods. I just recently started juicing. I feel like I'm juicing everything that has juice. Because I really want to increase my intake of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants naturally. You have supplements, but they are to supplement, not replace. And so I'm really focusing on that now. Also surrounding myself with people who are surrounding myself with people who are energizing versus draining.
Yeah.
And as much as I am a social butterfly and a people person, I have a greater appreciation for solitude, and I act accordingly. I'm no longer compelled to say yes when I really want to say no. No is a complete sentence. Mm-hmm. And I would say, my future is one that's filled with life, laughter, and soft love, generously given by my honey, Mark. And also one that allows me to travel and experience the arts, amazing food, good music, and lots of dancing.
Ah, beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This has been a really great conversation, and I'm definitely excited to hear as you create those things into the future. Now we're connected.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
I get to continue to hear about your journey. That's like one of the best things for me about doing the podcast.
Absolutely. This has been great. I appreciate the invitation and coming on here and, like you say, giving me the space to talk about my journey, and hope that this helps other people to speak up and seek resources and learn more about themselves, and being able to be proud of who they are, as quirky as it may look or seem or different, but being able to say, you know what, this is me, this is who I am, and walk comfortably in that space. I think, like I said before, it's so freeing. It's so freeing. And it's like, life is hard, and to be able to feel a little lighter each day, that's the goal.
I'll just say this real quick, is that I have my necklaces and I get to choose my necklace each day. And today I'm wearing a necklace that says freedom. So
okay, I need the deets.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put those in the show notes.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, I think that it's important. It's a reminder to yourself, and for people that see it, like, it's a good conversation piece. Like, what do you mean by that? Yeah. And some people may not have experienced freedom. Yeah. Or know all that it entails. So I think that's a great way. It's a great advocacy piece as well. So I love that. Yeah. But yes, thank you. I'm thinking of a whole bunch of different words that I can put.
We'll talk. We'll talk. Sure, I've got so many words. So many words.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, thank you again for coming on. And I'm excited to stay connected with you.
Absolutely. Same here.
Oh, but you know what? Before we go, I need to ask the best way for our listeners to also get to stay connected with you.
Oh,
what
awesome.
is the best way for them to reach out?
Sure. The best way to reach out to me is on my LinkedIn page. If you just do a search, Zupenda Davis, it will show up. If you are doing the URL, it is Dr. Z Davis.
Perfect.
So very easy
and we'll
to
put
find.
That we'll put it in the show notes. So it's
Yes,
easy to
that's
just
the
click
best
right
way
on
to
there.
connect with me.
Okay.
I love talking to folks. So yes,
Fantastic.
That's great.
Okay, great. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You do the same. I was going to say stay warm, but I think you got that covered.
Yeah, I'm in the Bay Area. We're like pretty good on that front. You stay warm. You stay warm. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes courage is setting boundaries that protect your peace. Sometimes it's naming what women are told to hide. Sometimes it's choosing a softer, truer way to live. Dr. Zupenda Davis reminds us that women's health, freedom, and leadership are deeply connected and that we don't have to exhaust ourselves to be powerful. If this conversation made you think about the women on your team, in your organization, or your own leadership, this is exactly the work we do through Courageous Public Health. We turn courage into an organizational skill through facilitated, interactive, virtual workshops for women leaders in public health. Interested? Get in touch. Links to connect with us are in the show notes. Until our next episode, stay courageous. Thank you for listening to the Courageous Public Health Podcast. Visit courageouspublichealth.com to find the show notes for each episode and learn how to connect with us.